Hey YouTube, Lucashinga here. Now today, I'm going to do a Blu Ray update because I haven't done one in a while and I'm trying to get all this playlist started, if you can see on my channel. So, I'm going to start off with the whole month of June because my birthday's in June, so I got a lot of movies. So, I'm going to do two sections. I'm going to do my WWE DVDs and Blu-rays, and then I'm going to move on to my movie Blu-rays. Now, I have my wrestling ones right here. I'll start off with the Blu-rays. Now, first off, I got WrestleMania 29. Now, WrestleMania 29, it's controversial. Some people like it, some people hate it. I liked it. It had some good matches. Chris Jericho versus Fandango, I thought was very underrated. Twice in a Lifetime was good. I'm not going to lie. It's definitely better than Once in a Lifetime because I hated that match. Not really, but still, compared to this one. And CM Punk versus The Undertaker was fantastic. And Triple H versus Brock Lesnar was great. And it had some good matches. And not all these matches I despise, so there's nothing really to hate. The worst match at this WrestleMania I can think of at the top of my head is Ryback versus Mark Henry. I didn't really like that match. So I'm going to set this down. Now, next up for the Blu-rays, I have Survivor Series 2012, which I got for at FYE for a very cheap price. And I like this pay-per-view. I thought the traditional Survivor Series match, Team Foley versus Team Ziggler, was really good. I liked Sheamus versus Big Show. I liked all their matches. And also, of course, I mainly bought this for the debut of The Shield because that was amazing. And the match of John Cena versus CM Punk versus Ryback was great. I really liked that match. I'll set this down right here. There we go. And this is the last Blu-ray I got for WWE. And this one is the top 25 rivalries in wrestling history. I really liked this Blu-ray. I thought the list was put off very well. They spoiled the list over here. I'll talk to you about which ones I'm glad are put on the list. I'm looking through here. Triple H and Mick Foley, Taz and Sabu, Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. I'm just skipping through like the big ones. Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper. There was Bruiser Brody, and Abdul the Butcher. Then CM Punk vs. John Cena, I thought was really good that was on there. Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar, Orton and Triple H, Mankind, Undertaker, Tommy Dreamer, Raven, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker. I thought Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker could have been a little bit higher, but that's just me. Triple H and The Rock, John Cena and Edge, definitely John Cena's best rivalry in my opinion. I liked how they put Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys. I thought that was really funny. And Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Steve Austin and The Rock, Andre the Giant and Hogan, Ric Flair, Steamboat, Michaels and Hart, and one was it had to be Stone Cold and Vince McMahon. That rivalry was amazing. But this Blu-ray is very, very good, so you should definitely, if you're a wrestling fan, definitely get this one. Now we're going to move on to the DVDs that I bought, which some of these I got at FYE, so they're a little bit older. This one's the cover's like kind of ripped up, but I still think it's good because I only got it for $2, and it's Bragging Rights 2009. Which you could probably guess, I only bought this DVD specifically for the 1 hour long Iron Man match because that match is just amazing and definitely one of the best matches of the PG era. It's definitely John Cena's best match of the PG era, if not John Cena's best match of all time. I think John Cena's best match could be him versus Shawn Michaels 1 hour Broadway in London, England. I thought that was great. And this pay-per-view was really good. I liked the elimination match on the Fatal 4-Way, which led to Batista turning heel. So it was a good deal, and it was worth the $2. And next, I got Extreme Rules 2013. Which I thought this was a decent pay-per-view. I think this was a really good pay-per-view. Like, it had a lot of good matches in there. And the John Cena versus Ryback Last Man Standing match I thought was the best of the night. And Triple H and Brock Lesnar was very good. And the Shield won all titles. That was great. I was so happy about that. And there were some other good matches there with the I Quit match and quite a few other matches. Next up, I have Over the Limit 2012, which you can probably guess. I pretty much bought this for CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan because that match is just so beautiful. And it had the Fatal 4-Way between Sheamus, Orton, and Del Rio and Jericho. I really, really liked it. Not John Cena versus John Laurinaitis because that match was stupid. But it was cool seeing Big Show turn heel and John Cena losing to Big Johnny. John Cena lost to Johnny Ace. But this was a really good pay-per-view, so I got this for $6.50, so it was a good price. Next up, I got SummerSlam 2012, because basically I went to go buy Extreme Rules, and this was just sitting there. It was just been there for like bunch of months. I think since since it came out in August, it's been sitting there for so long. Like, I felt bad, so you know what? I'm taking you home. And it does have good matches, not one of the best matches for a SummerSlam, but still they were great. The Perfect Storm was really good. I thought the triple threat between Punk, Cena, and Big Show wasn't extremely good, but it was good. And definitely the best match of SummerSlam in this pay-per-view was definitely Chris Jericho versus Dolph Ziggler. It definitely stole the show, and it was the opening match. Next up, I have Tables, Ladders, and Chairs 2012, which I specifically, again, only bought this for one match, which was The Shield versus Ryback and Team Hell No, because that match was so good, and I thought it was amazing. I really liked that match. And also John Cena versus Dolph Ziggler, I thought was very good as well. Let's set this down. And the last one, which was for a very cheap price, like for $5, I got WrestleMania 26. Now, this was a really good WrestleMania. I liked it. Like, John Cena versus Batista, it was good due to the fact that John Cena won. And, of course, the Streak versus Career match. That was great. And it has some really good entertaining matches here and there. So, I watched this a couple times, and I still really liked it. Now, moving on to the Blu-rays, which I have a lot by either buying them from birthday money, garage sale money, or just getting them for my birthday. Now, this one's the only criterion on here, and that is for 12 Angry Men. 12 Angry Men is such a brilliant film. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's got a great script, a great storyline, just kept you entertained, and just throughout the whole entire movie when it just took place in one room. And it's just such a great movie to watch, and especially for, like, people who like writing scripts. I definitely think that this is a movie that you should definitely watch. And plus, we're doing this as a play next year at my school, so you're going to be watching this one a lot. Alright, next one I have is 30 Minutes or Less. Now, 30 Minutes or Less, I really liked it. I thought it was really funny. And for comedies, comedies is basically a genre when you can watch the movie a lot and not really get annoyed by it. And this is definitely one of them. I think it's very entertaining. I think it's really funny. And if you don't, then it's okay. And plus, it was filmed in Michigan, so maybe that's why I really liked it more. And they even mentioned that it was filmed in Grand Rapids, so maybe that's why, but probably not. I still think it's hilarious. Next up is a funnier movie, which is Airplane. Airplane's definitely one of my favorite comedies of all time. Like, I remember back watching this when I was like, I think I was probably 9 when I first watched this movie, and I freaking loved it to death. And you should definitely watch this if you haven't, because it's a comedy classic. Next up, I have a triple feature Blu-ray of all the Austin Powers movies. Now, I love all these movies, and as you can see, because I couldn't really find them all for a single, like, just have them 1 separate, 2 separate, and 3 separate. I could never find it anywhere, not at Best Buy, FYE, Barnes & Noble, nothing. So, I found this at a Barnes & Noble, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm getting it. And so, it was for a cheap price, too. It was only for, like, 10 or 15 bucks. And here's what they all looked like separately. And I love all these movies, which my least favorite. I might get hate on this, but I think the first one's the worst out of the 3, even though I do really like the first one. But next up is one of my favorite movies, A Beautiful Mind. This is just such a phenomenal movie. Definitely, I think, maybe Russell Crowe's best movie, and definitely Ron Howard's best film as a director. It was a great mystery, and I loved the ending, which I'm not going to give away if you haven't, but this is such a brilliant film, and I definitely think that you should watch it. It's a Lucas Stringer guarantee for you. Next up is one of my favorite movies of 2012, and was nominated for Best Picture, luckily, and it did get snubs from a few Oscars. that I believe, and I'll mention to it later when I reveal it, which you guys probably already saw it. It's the Beast of the Southern Wild, or Beast of the Southern Wild, stupid. But, I freaking loved Beast of the Southern Wild. It's such a great film, and how all these were just new-coming actors, new-coming directors, how they just did auditions like at a gas station, I think. It was such a brilliant film. And how, like, none of these actors had acting lessons like Quvenzhané Wallis. She never had acting lessons, really, and she just did it. And she got nominated for an Oscar. And the youngest to be nominated for Best Actress, which I thought was amazing. And definitely, and also, what the snub I was talking to you about was I really did think that Dwight Henry should have been nominated for Best Actor in a Supporting Role, or Best Actor, because he did so good in this movie, and I think that he was just kind of underrated, and they just didn't really pay that much attention to him, so because they kept on paying attention to Quvenzhané Wallis, which they shouldn't have not much, because I loved Dwight Henry in this movie. So next up is Blades of Glory. Now, I love Blades of Glory, and I think it's a very funny movie, and I'm a huge Will Ferrell fan, I'm a huge John Heder fan, so I was very ecstatic when this movie first came out. I think I was 10 when this came out, and I saw it in theaters when I was on a trip to Connecticut, and I freaking loved it. And this movie's so funny. And I think it's a very underrated Will Ferrell movie. Not that many people talk about it, but I think it's really funny, so if you haven't watched it, watch it. Next up is, I've been literally had this on a bunch of my birthday lists and Christmas lists, but I never got it. I finally got it this year, and it's Bridesmaids, because I think this is one of the funniest movies I've seen in a while. I think this movie is really funny, and it was so weird how this was nominated for Best Original Screenplay and Best Supporting Actress for Melissa McCarthy. I thought that was very weird, but this movie definitely is a very funny film. Next up is one of my favorite movies of all time, and one of Steven Spielberg's most underrated movies, and that's Catch Me If You Can. I freaking loved Catch Me If You Can. I think this is such a great film. I can watch it anytime I want. I never get sick of it. Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks did great in this movie, and I thought it was really cool how they gave it a musical, which my parents saw, and they said it was very good. I've heard songs from it, and I was reading the whole the music book of it, and I've been told by other people it's a great musical, so I need to see it very soon. And next up, I might get a lot of hate for wanting to buy this movie. I like it a lot, and it's Click. It's an Adam Sandler movie, so I'm an Adam Sandler fan. I like some of his movies. I'm gonna admit there are some crappy movies that Adam Sandler has made or produced. Like there's Jack and Jill, there's That's My Boy, and there's You Don't Mess with the Zohan, and recently Grown Ups 2. This one I thought was good. I liked it. I think because I saw it on my 9th birthday and I really liked it. And when you like a movie when you're younger, you either hate it when you see it when you get older, or you just still like it the same way you did. And I don't think this movie's a great Adam Sandler movie. I think it's okay, and it's one of those comedies that I can just watch a bunch of times and not really get sick of it. And I don't get sick of this movie at all when I watch it. I can watch it whenever I want. It's a guilty pleasure for me. Next up, I have one of my childhood favorites, Finding Nemo. Oh my god, I love Finding Nemo so much. It's still left a huge impact on me ever since I was 6 years old, and it still leaves a big impact on me now. It's one of the best animated films of all time, and for good fucking reason. And now they're trying to butcher it with Finding Dory, which I think looks like crap. Why are they making a sequel? No Finding Dory! If you want Pixar, if you want to make a sequel, Incredibles 2, we want it! Alright, next up I have Flight. Now, Flight I got for a very cheap price at FYE, and so I decided to buy it. I think it's a good movie, and it had a really good script. Some people just thought the movie was okay. I thought it was really good, and Denzel Washington definitely gave one of the best performances he's given in a long time. So I don't really recommend you buying this movie. I think it's more of like if it's at Redbox, you should watch it, or rent it at Family Video or something like that. Next up, I think is one of the most underrated movies of all time, Frequency. I love this movie. My dad told me to watch it at first, and I thought it was going to be shit because of Dennis Quaid. Sorry about that. But I think Dennis Quaid did a very good job in this movie, and I think that this movie had a very good premise. It's basically about a guy who finds his old ham radio back when he was a kid. He puts it on, and he gets to talk to his dad back in time, and he prevents his father from dying, and also to track down this other killer who apparently was going to try to kill his mom. And I think it's a very good premise, and there's this one scene that just left an impact on me so much for some reason when he talks to himself from the past to the future. I just thought that was a very good scene. And when he also talks to his best friend, he mentions the word Google, which I'm not going to really just spoil much for you, even I kind of did. But definitely watch Frequency. I think it's a very underrated film. I love it to death. Next up, I have the play I recently did this year. Maybe that's the reason why I wanted so much, is Grease. I love Grease. I loved it ever since I was a kid, and I still love it now. It's definitely my favorite musical movie, probably. I think it's my favorite musical of all time. And, I don't know why. I just love this movie so much. And, God, I want to do Grease again so bad. I did it at my school, and holy shit, I want to do it again so bad. I was watching it with my friends a few days ago, and oh my god, sad memories, because I want to do the show so bad again. Setting this down, I gotta keep this all still so it doesn't tip over and fall, because I got a bunch more to show you. Here, I have Green Zone. Now, Green Zone, I really liked it. I think it's very underrated. So many people said it was bad. I'm like, I loved Green Zone. I think it was very, very good. It was very well directed by Paul Greengrass. I thought Matt Damon did a very good job. I thought it had a very good plot, had a very good script, and had very good pacing. So, I definitely recommend this movie. It's underrated as hell. I'm going to set this down. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is a big-ass one. It's the Harry Potter 8 film collection. If you want, instead of just having a bunch of mini Blu-rays in there that they did with the last box sets, this giant-ass Blu-ray case. I haven't seen a big one like this, I do not think. Let's open this up, because, like, right when you open it up, it's just like freaking dominoes. Like, right here, just look back at the old times, back when Daniel Radcliffe looked like this. I'm going to go to the last one. Daniel Radcliffe looks like this. So Harry Potter was definitely historical for me. I definitely loved him ever since I was a little kid. I'm just looking through all these, just memories. And I think my favorite either is the last one or Chamber of Secrets. Something about that one I love very, very much. Some reason, I do not know why, but I love it. Next up, I have, I'll just set these down on my lap, just some to not waste more time. Oh, there we go. Here I have the Impossible. Now, The Impossible, oh my god, such a sad, depressing movie, but it's such a great film. I think it should have been nominated for a few more Oscars. It did get nominated by Naomi Watts, because she did a fantastic job in this movie. But I think it could have been nominated for much more other stuff, because, oh man, I think The Impossible was such a great film, and I definitely think you should watch it. Next up, I have Life of Pi. Now, if you guys don't know, I was really pissed off with Life of Pi with the whole Oscar things, because I was really afraid it was going to win Best Picture. Thank God it didn't. And how Ang Lee won Best Director, I was so pissed, and I thought it was complete bullshit. It shouldn't have been him. It should not have been Ang Lee. But this is definitely a movie that you should own just for the visuals, because the visuals in this movie are breathtaking. I think they're very good, and it is an entertaining movie. I'm not saying it's the worst, it's such an overrated piece of shit. It isn't. It's a good movie, but just compared to those other movies that were nominated at the Oscars, it's not as good as those. And next up, I have $1 Million Baby. Now, this is a very, very good movie, and I think it's kind of underrated, even though did it win Best Picture? Yeah, it did. And but just no one really talks about it that much anymore. I think it's a very, very good movie, and it's definitely a great Clint Eastwood directed movie. God, I love Clint Eastwood. And I still love the fact how Jay Baruchel's in this movie. It was so funny how they mentioned that. This is the end. Oh, spoilers. I forgot to review this is the end. I think this is the end. It's hilarious. I saw it 3 times. And next up is The Lincoln Lawyer, which basically is what started to show that Matthew McConaughey is a great actor. This is a very, very good movie. I only saw it once, and it was on sale for $5 at Best Buy. And I was like, what the hell? Grab it and see what I think. And I watched it again. I think it's a very, very good movie. And Matthew McConaughey definitely did a great job. And I think it's a very, very good thriller. So, this is more of a family video movie to me. But, I got these mixed up with the alphabetical order stuff. So I'm going to try to move this stuff out of the way. Oh well, I'll try to move this stuff over here. Yeah, I'll start with right here. Right here I have. Here's another kind of box set that I got. It's of the Mission Impossible quadrilogy. And I had the 4th one, so I didn't really want to get this. There was a box set of those 3, which I got. But I got this one instead, which I think is great. And it saves more room on your shelf if you want to buy some more and more movies instead of just having these 3 lined out. You get some more space. So I think that's very good. So I gave the 4th one to my brother. But all these I just love. I love all of these movies, and I like the inside of it too. If you guys, it's on this side and on this side. But these are definitely fantastic action movies. Next up, I have Monsters, Inc. Oh my god, this is definitely my favorite Pixar movie next to Toy Story. Because, oh my god, this movie's just so good. It brings back so much memories to me back when I was a little kid. Oh my god, I used to watch this movie all the time. I was obsessed with Mike Wazowski too. I always had like action figures of these guys, and oh my god, I loved them. I loved Monsters Inc. It's left an impact on me when I was a kid, and leaves such an impact on me now. Not Monsters University, even though I thought Monsters University was a really good movie, but definitely not compared to this masterpiece. And here I have Moneyball. Now, Moneyball I thought was a very, very good movie. And Brad Pitt I thought did a great job. And I'm a huge baseball movie fan, which I mentioned back in my 42 unboxing. But I think it's a fantastic film. And plus it's got Jonah Hill, which I'm going to do another spoiler for this at the end. I have to do it. It's me, Jonah Hill, from Moneyball. I had to do it. Sorry. And next up, I'm not sure if you guys are going to hate on me for this or not. I love Pitch Perfect. I think Pitch Perfect's very funny. And plus, when I have friends of mine over who are girls, they're definitely going to want to watch this movie, so it's a good lifesaver. And plus, I think it's very funny. I think it's, and pretty much the only time I watched this with a friend, it was a guy, so what am I judging for? I think Pitch Perfect's very funny, and I think you should watch it. And I think you actually buy it. It's one of those movies you can't get sick of. I usually can't get sick of it when I watch it. I think it's very good. Now, next up, I have School of Rock. Now, School of Rock, oh my god, this movie takes me back. I love School of Rock. It's one of my favorite Jack Black movies. It's my favorite Jack Black movie. What the hell am I talking about? It's just so good. It's so funny. It's definitely his funniest movie, and it's definitely his most entertaining movie. And I love the whole rock and roll concept. And this movie got me obsessed with a lot of rock and roll music, like AC/DC and Metallica and Black Sabbath. This is what started it all for me. Next up, I have Side Effects. Now, Side Effects is another movie I didn't get to review earlier this year, but it's such a great thriller. It's very entertaining, and it was definitely a good movie to let Steven Soderbergh off and I hope he comes back to direct because he's a great director. The only problem for this movie is that it's a little slow, and that's pretty much the only thing I can really think of for this. And sometimes it shouldn't. It just ended. It should have just ended at this point, or kept on going and going and going. Next up, I have the movie that should have won Best Picture instead of The King's Speech. I think it's overrated. I think King's Speech is overrated, not this masterpiece, The Social Network. Oh my God. Social Network is such a great, brilliant film and a great screenplay. Of course, great direction from David Fincher. He's directed such classics such as Zodiac, Fight Club. Oh my God. I can go on because he's directed so many good movies. But this is definitely one of them. And Jesse Eisenberg, of course, showed how amazing of an actor he can be. And he got nominated for an Oscar for this movie. And Justin Timberlake, which I'm going to see him in concert. I cannot wait. Maybe I'll just review the concert for you guys because I was thinking about starting to do a little bit music reviews, but Social Network, such a brilliant film. I really do not need to go into detail how amazing this movie is. If you want to, you can watch my crappy review. God, I sucked back then. Well, still kind of do now. Next up, I have a very underrated movie back in 2009, and it's State of Play. I think this movie was very, very good. I think it's a very good thriller, and it started the whole Ben Affleck actually being a good actor. That hurt my nose. Next up, I have a very, very funny comedy. It's one of my favorite. I think it could be my favorite Will Ferrell comedy. Step Brothers. I think Step Brothers is hilarious, and me and my friends always quote this movie, and we just have a blast quoting lines from this movie, watching it. Step Brothers is definitely a movie. This got stuck, but Step Brothers is definitely a movie that I can never get sick of. Next up, I have a very, very underrated horror film. So many people hated it. Critics did not really like this movie, but I thought it was very entertaining, very scary, and very intense, which is The Strangers. I thought The Strangers was a very intense film, and I thought it was great. If you haven't seen this movie yet, you should definitely see it because it's such a good, scary movie. Next up, I have my biggest... Oh, dropped it. I'm amazing. My biggest childhood movie of all. Toy Story. Oh my God. Do I need to explain words on how amazing Toy Story is? Because it's such an amazing movie. I love Toy Story so much. And definitely should check out this movie. Definitely should check out Toy Story if you haven't. If you haven't, then you don't have a freaking childhood. Really, it's such... I think it's the best animated film ever made. I can go on for how amazing that movie is. Next up, I have There Will Be Blood. I love this movie so fucking much. It's in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Definitely. Daniel Day-Lewis gives out one of his best performances of his career. And oh my God, Paul Thomas Anderson, you were such a great director. I was afraid I was going to mess up with someone else Anderson, I think. Paul W.S. Anderson. Paul Thomas Anderson, you are a master, my friend. Just like your movie, The Master. God, he's such a great director, and he definitely showed it by this movie. Definitely, if you haven't seen There Will Be Blood, just watch it. And next up, I have my only digibook on this one, and it's a digibook of The Town. The Town I thought was a very good movie, and definitely showed how great of a director that Ben Affleck is. And this, I thought, was definitely underrated from the Academy because it should have won quite a few more Oscars than it should have. I think The Town was an amazing movie. And you should definitely watch The Town if you haven't. Get this digibook because it shows you some very good trivia about the movie, and I just love digibooks. Next, I'm just going to put it in 2 as a whole. Because it's of the same TV show. I have seasons 1 and 2 of The Walking Dead. My friend convinced me to, because I haven't watched The Walking Dead yet, and my friend just told me to get these right now, and I did, and oh, thank God he told me to get this, because oh my God, Walking Dead is an amazing show. And definitely watch it. And it's on Netflix too, so get caught up on the seasons, and when the new season comes out, just start keeping on watching it, because that's what I'm doing. I'll just put these three off so I won't have to keep on reaching. Next up, I have Warm Bodies. I think this was a very good movie. If it's like zombie movie lovers could have handled this movie. I like zombie movies, but I still thought this movie was really, really good. Just don't judge me. I think it was a good, entertaining flick. Next up, I have Wayne's World 2, which I do have the first one, but I wanted to complete off the whole Wayne's World trilogy. And I love Wayne's World 2. I love Wayne's World 1, and I love Wayne's World 2. I think both of these movies are very, very funny, and definitely great 90s comedies. And the last one I'm going to have on here is another one of my movies from my childhood, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The original definitely also left a big impact on me. I used to watch it all the time when I was a little kid, and I loved it. Even though I got really scared in that one scene. Gene Wilder's creepy. But that's my whole Blu Ray update with movies and WWE, and I'm Lucas Stringer. I'll see you guys later. If any of you still have watched this video, clap on you, man. Clap on, because this is a half-hour video, so clap on you, man. I'm proud of you.